Hey, it has been a while since I last made a video, I don't know, 4 months ago, maybe even longer than that. But I was about to go to bed, but then I was like, you know what? It's about to hit July soon, art fight starting, very soon, right around the corner. So I thought I might as well make a video on my experience in Top OC. Top OC is basically like a reality TV show competition. Think of like America's Got Talent, but for artists. And instead of getting into it, hoping to win $1 million in the end, well, all that matters is the friends that you've made along the way and the drawing and writing skills that you were able to gain from it. Top OC is hosted by Kulangile or Kulangil, I hope I pronounced one of those correctly, on Instagram. And basically, all you have to do is just go through 3 to 4 rounds filled with prompts that you have to follow involving the OC that you've submitted for the competition. If you've seen some of my YouTube shorts, you've seen that relating to Top OC, I participated with Reliantha Narrowhorn. She is a half-elf bard that I created for a Pathfinder 2 campaign that my friend hosted a while ago. And she was able to get through round 2, but not quite on round 3, which is completely fine. I did not make it to the finale because of that, but at that point I was pretty much satisfied with how I was able to participate and really giving it my all to mostly focus on improving on my writing skills, because me personally, I'm not too much of a really huge professional writer. The thing is, with this competition, as much as your drawings can look good, like you can be a really good artist, but your writing skills when it comes to the captions on having to explain certain things about your piece, because some of the prompts that Top OC gives you, you do have to follow them depending on what kind of a prompt you have to follow. You do have to write down a caption explaining your piece on why is this or why is that, why is your character doing this, and that hand in hand with your drawing skills makes a huge difference. It's not just one or the other. You can be a really good writer or a really good drawer, but the other one counts just as much. So yeah, personally I think I'm pretty proud of how I laid out my captions for my submissions. I don't know why I did not make it to the finale for my submission for round 3, but who knows? It was probably really hard for the judges to pick a small amount, even though they found a lot of the submissions really good and really well made, but a few have to pass. So I don't know if I explained the concept of Top OC very well. I mean, I hope I did, but that was the gist of it. So focusing on my experience participating in Top OC with Reliantha Narrowhorn, I believe it turned out pretty nicely. I'm not too surprised that I took advantage of time and kind of did things last minute, but I was able to get stuff down in time. I used my extension pass on round 1. Extension pass can be used once. It's only set for 24 hours for you to just have one extra day to really get your submission nice and fleshed out before submitting it if you need it. So yeah, I used that for round 1, which for this year, which was season 5, I used my extension pass for, I'm pretty sure it was my music single. Yeah, Reliantha's music single. I had to make a song cover if Reliantha were to create her own song and, have like a whole like music production and everything, and have like a nice laid out album or song cover relating to that song. For round 2, honestly, it was really interesting because for round 2, basically it was like, oh, for round 1, your OC's music single was such a huge hit that now you have to be dealing with paparazzi now. So you have to put your character in an outfit that they wouldn't normally wear. And so for that prompt, you had to explain why they wouldn't normally wear that. And for Reliantha, she's a bard, she has to be out there wearing really flamboyant outfits. She has to drag those eyes in and get their attention on her. She's used to being in the spotlight. And not only that, but she's actually really into fashion too. Through being a bard, she has found her place and having certain preferences when it comes to the outfits that she wears. So she's really out there, very vibrant and colorful and just really showing off her really beautiful outfits. So I was like, okay, why don't we limit that to just putting her in a really bulky and low budget robot DIY costume. With her being a violinist, she is able to be really free and dance around and really bring her music to people. That is completely wiped away when she's in that outfit. And you know, she in this picture, she clearly seems very disappointed by it. So yeah, that one wasn't too bad because it honestly was really simple. It was kind of just implementing like a Minecraft skin and just putting onto her. I'm just mostly dealing with very basic geometric shapes. It's just, you know, a square on a square. It really wasn't that bad. And then for round 3 came around. Honestly, I was completely caught off guard by the prompt for this. It was a very important person, and your OC implements any of their special items to them to like some sort of, I think, like Wayback Machine kind of thing. It was like a machine that gives you an illusion of the past or the future. And so for Aurelian, I decided, well, okay, let's submit her violin, take her down memory lane when her father first gave her that violin. Honestly, I just made this all up on the spot, but I think it was pretty good for improv, especially with, again, me wanting to focus on my writing skills more. So I was thinking, you know, maybe Reliantha was really into music when she was younger. You know, maybe from the very beginning at her youth, she was going to become a bard. And so her father recognized this and was like, you know what, I'm gonna put in all the effort to really help her shine out more in the crowd. Because half-elves, especially in D&D, they're stuck on one race, you know, on the humans, and the elves, you know, they're not exactly the same. So for her to be a mixture, you know, she would kind of feel more like an outcast. So I was thinking, you know, if, you know, the father gives her this violin, you know, it would kind of unlock her to have more potential in putting herself out there, and that people will love her more for who she is and what she can offer to the world with her musical abilities and just her charming personality in general. So because of that, I actually got on my comfort zone a lot for this and went for some, I think it was 2-point perspective. Yeah, I think this was my first time making a 2-point perspective drawing, because man, it took me quite a bit to lay out all the furniture. It was a huge learning process, and my god, those stairs were really something. But all in all, thank god for Clip Studio Paint's built-in grids and perspectives, because it was actually a breeze to get through, especially since for the grids and rulers, they are able to recognize how you want something drawn, especially when you use the shapes and you're able to lay them out just as easy, because the shapes can recognize how the grids and perspectives is laid out, and so they go along that that perspective grid. So that was really useful. And then for me adding in Reliantha's father and her younger self and her present self being there, you know, being supportive of her younger self, you know, this is more of like a really wholesome moment, right? You know, she's seeing her younger self, seeing this violin for the first time. It's not so bittersweet, but more just like, oh man, you know, like this is a really nice memory to look back on and just remember how long the violin that the father has given her has been with her. And so to show how special that this violin was, I kind of went for a more, I guess, kind of like metaphorical, a bit exaggerated moment. I had a lot of magical effects coming out of the violin box, just to show how much of a piece of treasure that Reliantha was facing. You know, it wasn't like gold or like any like doubloons or anything like that. It was just a normal looking violin, but to her, it was really something special to lay eyes upon. And I just want to show how much of a magical, whimsical moment it was for her to receive something that she would probably use for a really long time, which was the case. So that was round 3. I know it was really basic when it comes to the story concept, or I guess the lore of Reliantha, but I thought, you know what, you know, I don't want it to make it like too like edgy or anything, like, oh, she had like a really sad backstory or anything like that. I kind of wanted to go for something really simple, but keep it, you know, it's really simple, but it's sweet. So there are judges in Top OC. I actually probably should have mentioned this way earlier, but there are 3 themed guilds, and there's at least 3 to 4 judges in each of them. And so they all help out with keeping track of all the participants of each guild and who is eliminated and who passes. For this year, the theme was rock, paper, scissors. I was in paper because honestly their description seemed to fit Reliantha pretty well. But yes, judges are not allowed to say or explain why your submission did not pass. But so in this case, you know, I did not make it to the finale, not knowing why. which I'm completely fine with. Again, like I said, I am pretty satisfied with how much work I put into this competition. I found out about Top OC last year and I was really interested in participating this year. So that I already fulfilled my art bucket list when it comes to events and challenges, and Top OC was one of them. I did Top OC this year. I participated in season 5, and yeah, who knows, I might come back at some point again for any of the future seasons. So yeah, that was my experience with Top OC. If any of you are watching this and you find this concept interesting, I will put some links down in the description for the Top OC Discord server, the Top OC Instagram. If you follow their social links, you will find a lot more info on their end on how you can audition and participate to the fullest. Other than that, yeah, I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. So again, I know I've been gone for a while. I'm gonna hopefully try and change that heading into summer and fall, because there's actually a lot of plans on my end that I actually really want to try and fulfill this year regarding my YouTube channel and really just my art and my Discord server in general. So yeah, stay tuned for my participation in Art Fight, and we'll just see what happens. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you some other time. Have a good day or good night.